Live on YouTube, guys.
There it is.
Did you like how like you're like introducing your movie, and then I just put all like your awards up like really quickly? I was trying to find like all the emblems for the awards, but I couldn't.
Those are a bitch, dude. I hate trying to find laurels. Well, every festival has different ones.
You're spending some time with the fan.
And I just don't. Usually when I do posters, I just make generic ones anyway. They spend all these time like making nice custom ones, and I'm like, yeah, fuck
And
these.
Horror Syndicate.
Yeah, and the Horror Syndicate.
That's just from my phone. Yeah, sorry.
So, Ray? Do you have the copies already, or how does that work?
No, he's sending them to me with my personal copy.
Okay, good.
So I think he said next week it'll be here.
Yeah, it should be because you got a stocking, right? Or did you get a
I
regular?
did not.
No, Jared
I did
got,
not.
Jared,
I just got the regular because I didn't need a stocking. Right? Jared got a stocking though.
By award-winning director Michael Bardo.
Can you guys see me?
it's a major echo going.
Can you see me?
Yes, I do. Those turned out so good, dude. You're really good at drawing with glitter paint. I can't. My handwriting is so bad.
Well, I'm gonna.
I could not do it for shit. I fucked up so many times.
Yeah, I mean, we've made our actual stockings for here out of glitter paint. This one's stuck, but it's okay. This one, Mike, I'm going to send this one to you. And I'll make another one.
Ooh, I love that one.
Yeah, that's the one that's got your logo guy on it.
Boy,
did the best I could.
good job, man.
Yeah, in this one I gotta remake. I gotta remake 2 of them. So if you guys want one of these stockings, let me know. Because I gotta remake 2 of them. Because I put, like, if you look at this one, it gets stuck on the red part of this stocking.
Oh.
So so if you guys want one of these, there's 2, there's 3.
It almost looks like blood.
So I can send these to you guys if you want them. So Mike, I haven't sent away your the fly yet. So I'm gonna send that with your stocking.
Yeah, that works out perfectly.
Sign this, even though I had nothing to do with it.
David Cranberry.
I will sign stocking in glitter paint.
That sounds like a Chippendales dancer, David Cranberry.
Actually, I'm gonna do an outline of my penis.
There you go.
With glitter paint. Oh, we're live, aren't we?
Yeah.
That's out there.
All right, I have one more trailer playing after this because I like to play things in threes.
So,
here's what I used, by the way. If you can see
that's
it, I
the
don't know if you
exact
can see
same
it.
brand that I used for the movie for the sweaters.
Yeah,
the dollar store stuff, right?
I got it from Walmart. It was like $1 or something, but yeah,
same brand. Yeah, I just got mine in the dollar store.
It worked really well. The only problem I had, like, whenever I would open it, the cap would like be dangling, so I had to do this.
Yeah, it likes to soak into fabric. It's supposed to be like 3D, and it just soaks in really bad. I didn't realize it.
But now that I got it down, I'm gonna do 3 more primo ones, and then we'll send them off. I got the cards ready to go. Nobody knows about them unless they watched the live video the other day I did.
Excellent.
I don't even know where I put those.
Wait, what is this video?
So yeah, these are going right in the stocking with the movies, and I'm gonna see if I can get some like other Christmas favors. So I gave my brother-in-law one of these, and he was pretty stoked about it. So.
Sexy.
I'm actually going to go ahead and play the intro, and then we'll go live. The third video I had playing was Never Hike Alone. I think I want to skip that tonight. No offense to Never Hike Alone, guys. We have a lot of people watching right now. And
don't say anything about it.
Yeah.
Why didn't you just do the Boneyard trailer?
I forgot to download it. Like an asshole. The fucking asshole.
I watched
scumbag fuck dick bitch I am. What?
I watched all the special features on the movie too.
Oh, good.
I did too. We can talk a little about that.
The little girl grown up.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's fucking hot.
My age. She is my age.
Like a fine wine.
But married to some douche guy. I gotta watch what I say. I keep forgetting we're live. She's married to a nice gentleman.
Brian, we should play that video again when we talk about it during the episode. 'Cause I think
That's fine. That's fine. All right, we got our intro playing.
Yeah, we're up to a whole gaggle. That's what they call a group of geese, a gaggle. Just in
I
case.
heard.
Gaggle, gaggle.
This close
And you know what they call a group of crows?
A murder.
A hoedown.
Ah!
a crow.
All right, here we go. We're going to be live in 3, 2. All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to THS Lives here tonight. My name is Brian Enright. Let's get my tag up there. You can follow me at Brian Enright, or if you go on to Twitter, Instagram, and all that stuff, you can follow me at The Horror Jew. Up next, let me figure this out because, like always, I don't know. Yeah, there we go.
It's because we're live.
Jared Letourneau. Jared, good evening.
Good evening, Brian, Mike, and Ray, and all the boils and ghouls at home. You guys can follow me on Facebook at Jared Letourneau, or follow me on Twitter at zombie_survivor/douche Back to you.
Thank you very much, Douche Canoe. Up next, we have award-winning director Mike Lombardo, who he just...
Is it me?
Did Brian freeze?
Brian froze.
Holy
All right,
moly.
award-winning director Mike Lombardo. Say something, Mike.
Take it away, Mike.
Everybody, I'm just going to address the elephant in the room right now because I know you're all wondering. Yes, it is true. I did get a new computer chair. Check this puppy out.
Ooh.
This will be featured on every episode of THS Lives from now until eternity. But you can find me at www.realsplatter.com. That's real with 2 E's. Facebook.com/realsplatter. And most importantly, at ScreamTeamReleasing.com, where you can order a copy of White Doomsday. So back to you, if Brian's unfrozen.
He's not.
He's not.
I'll take it away and introduce myself. My name's Ray, and I love land, holding hands. Now, actually, you can follow me on Instagram at Razor33. I need to get on that Twitter game, but I can't do it. So,
Yep. I fail massively at it.
yeah. But if you want, Razor_33. And don't forget to not live video, our giveaway video for I'm Dreaming of a White Doomsday.
I am so sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I have...
Okay, we got you, Bri.
My computer crashed violently.
Intros are done.
Yep, we got our introductions out of the way for you.
Yep.
We're not playing on the video.
We're not. We're not.
Oh,
on,
so we're not on Facebook
Live because my computer just crashed violently.
So YouTube, how you
We
doing?
are back.
So we're just free balling out here in the YouTube verse. That's okay.
So are
So
we?
should we even bother doing the intros again?
No, we have people watching. I'll just say that we're back.
So we're just free
All
balling
right.
out
So
here in the YouTube verse.
Brian, I'm just seeing your screen.
they're what?
I'm seeing you typing stuff on the video.
Rick Miller says, "What the hell?"
Who says what?
Who's chat says, "What the hell?" Having technical difficulties. Are we live on Facebook at the moment?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah, he's like, "What the hell?" Oh man. Well, if anybody's watching us on YouTube, we are having some issues. Brian's computer violently. I can't say that fucking word, can I?
So
This happens once in a while.
All right. So you close that,
so
and we are live again. Sorry about that, everybody. Yeah, no, we're live again.
It's live on Facebook, and
So yeah, so things, because we are a big network, television communication, we rely on Fox News to pay our bills, and they haven't really received my emails that I just desperately need money. So I've been kind of doing this by myself, but we are technically a network broadcast, so I do apologize for the inconvenience that the major networks have provided here with us crashing. But yeah, those on Facebook land, if you are joining us, there we are. We got 4 of you back so far. Yeah. Everyone introduce themselves, but we'll have Mike introduce himself again. Mike, good evening.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Mike Lombardo. RealSplitter.com, real with 2 E's. Most importantly, ScreamTeamReleasing.com, where you can buy one of these beauties. You should do that. Back to you.
Do that.
Thank you very much. So much enthusiasm because...
Excuse me.
Here we go. Up next, we have our President Fuhrer, Razor. Ray, good evening.
Hi. That's all. I already did it once.
Hello.
Nobody cares.
So, those who were watching our other video, I do apologize for the inconvenience, but we're currently doing a giveaway, and in case you are new and you haven't seen anything, here's the giveaway video.
We hope you like.
Are we supposed to be quiet?
No, I have you guys mute.
Okay.
I'm playing the giveaway video again.
Okay.
Yeah, for those of you that do watch the YouTube, go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/The Horror Syndicate, to enter in for a copy of I'm Dreaming of a White Doomsday on Blu-ray, and watch the wonderful video.
It's killer.
It is killer. Just like them cookies.
I love you guys. I'm so sorry. It looked like someone took a Nintendo game out of the the cartridge out of the system, and the whole screen like pixelated, and I was like screaming, and I was like, "Where are you guys? Hello? Can anybody hear me?" And I'm like, "Caroline, go towards the light."
Caroline.
Actually, I have a whole bunch of movies here that I want to talk about. I have a whole bunch of standalone movies.
I can just bring up the bracket from
Oh yeah, we did do one of those, didn't we?
And I got these. You guys go to Walmart and get your copies of the retro sleeve covers of Blu-rays.
I got the Last Action Hero one.
I got.
Was that Happy Birthday to Me?
That is. I love Last Action Hero.
I got this one.
Oh, that's cool looking.
Yeah, worst one to do this with. They should have done like 3 or too many of the other ones, because this one.
So yeah, sorry about that, guys. That was the video. We're currently doing a promo for the award-winning movie I'm Dreaming of a White Doomsday. We actually have been promoting for a while now, and it's definitely recommended. We even have the director here. He's a continuing member of the show and a member of the Horror Syndicate. Jared Letourneau, award-winning director of I'm Dreaming of a Blue Kansas.
Oh, that sounds like a country song of some kind.
I'm dreaming.
So we had this one of our main topics of tonight. Sorry, I'm all fumbled because of the whole crashing thing, but whatever. I'll get the fuck over it. Obviously, we were going to talk about Mike Lombardo's favorite movie, his favorite standalone movie of all time, from what I've gathered. The little movie called The Boneyard. Where's my copy?
Yay.
So we got The Boneyard, starring Phyllis Diller and Norman Fell.
So before we get into the nitty-gritty, we should kind of bring everybody up to speed how we got onto this topic in the first place.
Yeah, let's do it.
Boneyard became the thing. So The Boneyard was a movie that I saw many moons ago. I was in high school and I came across the I'm not sure how many people out there are familiar with the Cult Collectibles Lucky 13 line of DVDs back in like the early 2000s. Yeah. But they put out like Bloodsucking Pharaohs in Pittsburgh and Slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
And they did the Boneyard, and I saw this cover with a fucking monster poodle, and I was like, what the fuck is this? So I bought it. Little did I know that I was about to fall in love. And it was a wonderful little movie. And I have been singing its praises ever since. So for over a decade, I've been talking about it. And it randomly came out on Blu-ray from Code Red. I thought that was the fucking most bizarre thing to have happen. So I, of course, flooded Facebook and social media with pictures of it, talking about it, and probably sold almost a dozen or so copies of that Blu-ray, including to you guys at the Horror Syndicate, and our favorite Ray, who loves the Boneyard. But yeah, so he refused to watch it for the longest time. We kept peer pressure.
No. I refused to buy it. I'll tell you why I was laughing off the air. So
he was peer pressured into finally buying it. Because I said, you want to be cool, don't you?
But it was $12.
Who cares about peer pressure? That cover art makes anyone want to buy it.
But it's so fucking cheap. Like, it's like $12, and it's packed with extras, like really good extras. And I am such a fan of it that I actually visited the town that it was filmed in on my way to Crimson Screen Film Festival. And I got to visit the filming locations, which are what's left of them. But that's the topic for a little bit later. So that's my personal experience with the Boneyard. I'm going to let you guys talk about your experiences.
Go ahead, Ray.
Ray's gone.
Oh, no.
I just thought it was funny because Mike talked so like wholeheartedly about it on our podcast one night, and Brian was a little drinky and Mike showed the cover to everybody.
He was completely sober that night.
Was he?
He just couldn't.
He just could not stop laughing at the damn dog.
What this cover is? Look at this. It's fucking ridiculous. I mean, this is why it took me so long to buy it.
The reverse covers is not much better.
Wait, there's a reverse cover?
Yeah, it's Phyllis Miller's face.
The thing is, look,
Oh, no, I don't want that.
Don't let the cover, it's not even that big of a part of the movie. Yeah, it is.
I don't want the reverse cover. I want this cover for the rest of my life.
Well, let me say this to anyone who has not seen the movie real quick. The movie, while it would appear that it's going to be super ridiculous and cheesy, it is. But it's played very straight for the most part. Like, there's some comedy in it, but for the most part, it's played straight. But the biggest thing I want to tell everybody is that oh my god, I just completely fucking forgot his name. The director. What's the director's name?
James Cummins.
James Cummins. Yeah, James Cummins, who you guys
not going.
know as the effects artist that worked on House. The awesome haunted house with all the creatures and George Wendt. So the movie very much has the style. The creature effects have the style of House.
I can see that.
Cover.
That explains the good special effects for sure.
George Wendt is the creature.
Yeah, unfortunately, James Cummins passed away about 6 or 7 years ago of complications arising from I want to say he actually had scarlet fever, which they thought had been eradicated, but he died very young, which is a shame because he's a very, very talented effects artist. But this is one of the only movies he directed, I think. But it's really, really excellent. It really is. I mean that wholeheartedly. I really, really love it.
Excellent. Anyway, go on.
We're gonna come to you, Ray.
Come on, Ray. Your review is saved after we're off the air, okay?
It's good stuff. So anyway, let's just go down the line. Everyone knows my feelings on this movie. I fucking adore this movie, and I'll tell you guys why. But let's hear what everyone else's impressions are of it.
Go ahead, Jared.
Well, I boned up on the Boneyard after work tonight.
How many bones did you spend on it?
So I did my research. I watched it. I think I've only seen it 3 times, but the plot is all over the place for sure. I can't remember the main chick's name, the psychic. What? I don't know any of the characters' name.
Deborah Rose.
Deborah Rose, yeah. And there's like what Mike probably knows the name of it, but it's like Kishinu.
Yeah, I don't know the name of the Japanese name. I can't remember.
Kyoshi.
Kyoshi.
So it's like a cursed
it's on the back
monster.
of the Blu-ray. Everything, every answer you want is back here. They
I
tell
don't
you
have
what
it within
happens.
reach. I don't have it within reach.
Jersey. There's the detective Jersey.
But
Yes,
I mean, the plot feels all over the place. But like once you actually get into the morgue and the story actually starts developing, which takes like 40 minutes to even happen.
It's got a lot of atmosphere. It's never. I don't know. I think that it's a much better movie than you would expect based on the cover.
Oh, for sure.
Synopsis. And when shit kicks off, it's actually like fucking creepy as shit.
Okay, let's get this. It's Allie is her name, the psychic.
Okay.
Norman Fellows Shepard, the mortician, and then Jersey is the lead detective.
Okay. Well, this is all over the place.
So
let's
Deborah Rose, hot piece of ass.
Let's start
what's
with
the
the
psychic?
plot of the movie. It's about a detective they come across a mortician who has 3 dead children locked in the basement of his funeral home, and they autopsy the kids and they find traces of human flesh in their stomachs. So they believe that this man had abducted 3 children, locked them in his basement, and fed them cadavers. So there is a psychic who has aided the police on numerous occasions in the past with missing children and stuff.
And her name's Allie.
And her name is Allie. So
We should have just had you do the plot in the beginning.
Jersey finds Allie and says, "Hey, will you help us?" And she's reluctant because she had lost a child previously, and it really fucked her up. Excuse me. And she's dealing with the emotional aftermath of helping on these cases because she's like, what do you want me to do? Find their fucking bones? Like it just fucks with her basically having a job where she's helping to find dead children. But he convinces her to help them, so they go to the morgue, which is closed. It's in a location that's about to close as they're moving to the city to a much larger facility. So it has a skeleton crew, no pun intended, which is run by Phyllis Diller, who is the snarky morgue attendant. So they go downstairs.
Hold on, don't even pass up her name.
Mrs. Poopenplatz.
Poopenplatz.
And what does Miss Poopenplatz have? What does she have, Mike?
A poodle named Floofums. So they all go down to the basement to examine these bodies, and the psychic girl touches them and has a flashback where she kind of sees that there's some kind of occult element to this, and basically that the children are not dead, they're playing possum, but they're actually sort of like weird demonic zombies. So the shit hits the fan, they're all trapped in the morgue, and they're trying to escape with these fucking freaky ass little green, slimy children that run around like scuttle up the walls, and they're fucking terrifying.
Yes.
They don't have eyes. That's what fucks me with the most. Their eyeballs are gone, and they're really gross. But it's a little bit of a slow burn. There's some more plot twists that I don't want to spoil, but it's a slower burn until it starts to hit the fan, and then it turns into almost a siege movie. And it's really, really effective. It's got some goofy stuff in it, of course, but I think it's got a lot of heart. It's got some great fucking special effects, and there's some really gnarly gore in it, too.
I think that's what holds up for me was how awesome the special effects were, because I was not expecting that at all. Yeah. Those kids, I mean, you find out in the special features that one girl pretty much played them unless they were all in the same scene together. But yeah, like the goop in their hair, and like you said, they didn't have eyes. That kind of reminded me of like the demons from Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight a little bit, but only short and freakier looking.
No, definitely.
Now, mutant Phyllis Diller and mutant Fluffles aside, the special effects were awesome.
Well, so those special effects are really good. They're very stylized. Like, they're goofy, but the Floofums, the cover of the movie, like, I think that animatronic and stuff is actually really well implemented. And the moment that Floofums, the zombie, like, mutant Floofums appears, it's actually funny because the one character just starts laughing. It's like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. It's exactly how the audience feels, and I think that's what makes it work so well. But then it's like it's basically just a werewolf, but it's a poodle.
And I was also wondering, like, how did Floofum's ribbon also grow exponentially?
Well, to find out the answer to this and more questions, you have to buy the Blu-ray.
Because if the ribbon didn't grow, the dog would have been strangled to death, and then there wouldn't have been an ultimate battle with the main enemy.
With Allie.
Yeah.
So, Jared, what were your thoughts on the movie?
I thought overall, it was actually very surprising. Like it was a blind buy, like it probably was with Brian. We kind of peer pressured Ray a little bit, but I definitely
the only ones. There were so many people posting about it when it came out on Blu-ray. It's like my feet with the Boneyard.
I had
like my sex life. Oh.
Well, let me be the first to say, Ray, welcome to the cool kids table, because now you have the phone number.
Like you were saying, it is a slow burn, and I mean it does take about 35 to 40 minutes for the movie to pick up. I thought the acting was pretty decent. I thought Phyllis Diller's character was a little over the top, but she's kind of a
that's what she's known for. I mean,
yeah. Overall, though, like I was really surprised. Like I took a blind buy because I, for the most part, trust your opinions when it comes to cinematic adventures.
Don't listen to me about Overlord, though. Apparently, I'm very wrong.
Oh, I want to see that. I do want to see that.
Our review is that Upchuck did it and he liked it.
Yeah,
I didn't just call him Upchuck. It just sounded like I said that.
What's up, Chuck?
That movie made me want to Upchuck, and it wasn't because of the gore.
But yeah, I mean, pacing and plot over
the poop and plot.
Yeah, the poop and plot. There you go. No, the plot wasn't that bad. It was just kind of like it didn't really stay cohesive throughout the film. But I mean, my gripes are very minimal. Overall, I pretty liked it. I liked it a lot.
I think it was pretty cohesive.
Yeah, I don't have a problem. The plot unfolded pretty well. I thought it was kind of unique for the type of movie that it was.
Well, there was a couple scenes. I'll wait. Go ahead. I'm really holding this close to the vest here. My opinion on this movie.
Well, then let's let Brian go next. Then.
All right, so The Boneyard, 1989, starring Miss Poop and Plots and her dog Fluffles, whatever the fucking dog's name is. The dog, obviously, spoiler alert, the dog does evolve into a Charizard and attack everybody who's remaining at the morgue. The movie itself is kind of hilarious towards the end, but in the beginning, it's extremely devastating because the main character, who's a psychic that they drag along, lives inside this house that looks like it's been abandoned and looks like it's like cluttered, like this, like there's hoarders that used to live there, and no, she's just sleeping in the bed, and then she does like this weird, like kind of like ninja attack on the detective and his sidekick in the beginning. It's kind of funny, but what's that?
With a pillow.
Yeah, with a pillow. Yeah, so that moves along pretty quickly, and they're like, "Hey, I know your kid died, and you're upset, but can you do this investigation about these dead kids?" And then she was like, "Sure, no problem. This won't affect me at all psychologically," and it does. She has like these flashbacks of like these like kids like getting killed or whatever, and they take her to the morgue. She meets everyone. She meets Miss Poop and Plats, who's played by the late Phyllis Dyer. Or if she's still alive, then I'm sorry I called her late. I don't know. But is she dead?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so she's dead. And the dog is probably dead too. But they're in this movie together. And
that dog. Side note: that dog is the poodle from Elvira's movie. The poodle.
Oh, get the fuck out of here! Really?
Poodle.
Okay. So this poodle.
Quite a horror pedigree, if you will.
So this poodle's eating pedigree, and they so there's these kids in the basement, like everyone was saying, and they're not really like dead. They're like these like zombie things that live in the bottom of the basement, and then it turns into like this mutant slasher movie, which is pretty cool. And it kind of strays away from like the really depressing, like heartfelt beginning of like where it's like the psychologist is like, my life is in shambles, and then it's like everyone's life is in shambles. I think at one point someone dies, but then they come back to life, and then they just forget about that they died, and then you're just like, oh, you're normal. But without giving too much away of the Boneyard, I still don't think it's as good as Monster Squad, even though Mike Lombardo and I have had this conversation many times. But the Boneyard is what's that?
Because they're in the same ballpark.
Get the fuck off my show, Ray. Get out! Get out! No. So we've had this conversation before, but the Boneyard's pretty well made. It's a well-made movie. It's not going to make you bored when you're watching it. In fact, there's going to be points where you watch this movie and like, how the fuck did they get away with making this movie? And then you realize not a lot of people have seen it because they didn't push it. But the fact that the main actor, who is, I have to pull it out again, who's played by Deborah Rose, she's not a petite 20-year-old woman or like, you know, she's not in shape. She's overweight. She's very relatable to anyone who has like a tragedy in any movie, like psychological tragedy. And they really don't make the heroes of the movie these young people who are like in shape, right? And they make them like normal people, which I really enjoyed about the movie. It wasn't
that's fair, yeah.
Yeah, no, it wasn't like, hey, here's Chris Hemsworth and Rosario Dawson fighting a giant monster poodle. It was like, no, we're gonna bring these
That's a
people.
remake I would watch though.
Yeah, no, I would watch it too, as long as
directed by Michael Lombardo.
Yeah. I would play Fluffles, okay? Mike, if you get a chance to direct this fucking movie and do a remake of it, I want to play Fluffles, and I don't want any makeup. I just want to go around like this. All right? So we're going to be okay.
Well, you brought that up, though, Brian. That was something I did want to mention, too, is that the casting in this movie, the lead actress, she's like a 200-pound woman who is dressed in sweatpants and like a flannel shirt, and like there's actually a point in the movie where they're trying to escape in the climax, and she literally can't fit through
ventilation shaft.
Yeah, and it's not played for laughs. It's just like serious. Like this is a real person, and this is what would happen in a situation like this. And I think that a lot of the strength of the movie comes from the casting being normal people, and it definitely makes it more relatable. And I really love that part of the movie. Like it goes so against type for horror films, especially of the period.
I was gonna say, even Phyllis Diller's character, when she looked at her license, she mentioned that she gained some weight since the license. You know, go ahead.
No, it's well, and also with Phyllis Diller, she was known. Phyllis Diller is pretty much bald in real life. And she had to wear wigs for all of her roles, and they convinced her to just go without the wig for the character of Poopinplatz. And like that, like I really respect the hell out of her for doing that, because I mean, that's a huge vantage. Phyllis Diller was a fucking movie star. Like,
well, she even made a joke about it in the movie about her. You know, there's not much left there, or something like that.
Yeah, it's rare you get to see. It kind of reminded me almost.
She had like alopecia or something like that.
I just think that she was just kind of old. Her hair was thinning.
Yeah.
When she died, she was like 95 or something like that, or 97.
Yeah, she was pretty old.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
But it reminds me of the scene in Seed of Chucky with Jennifer Tilly, where they're like talking about how they're so proud of her for sticking with her diet, and she like hides like she has candy bars hidden everywhere, and she's like eating them, and then like her assistant writes her fake fan mail to stroke her ego. Like, I really respect when people have a sense of humor about themselves. It really makes the movie is much more relatable to me, and that I felt that a lot in the Boneyard. I just thought that it was really, I don't know, it was realistic, and it kind of had like a little, I don't know, there's a lot of.
No, you're absolutely right. The characters were extremely relatable, and I think part of the movie's failure to become such a much more successful movie. You know, not successful, but I mean wider known to the general public, was that the fact that the characters in this movie were just they weren't the character types weren't meeting expectations of what you see in all other movies. These are normal people with problems, and you can relate to them. Where there's this trend in Hollywood where you have to look a certain type in order for someone to be like, oh, I can relate with this movie, or I admire these people. No, you're absolutely right. But The Boneyard was a fun movie. I definitely would watch it again after talking about it tonight on this episode. If you are out there and you are watching this show right now and you have not seen this precious little gift that Mike Lombardo has shoved into our faces in the past 6 months, I recommend that you go onto Code Red website. And Ray, you pay $12 for it, right?
Yeah, it's on Amazon.
So go on Amazon.com and go look up the Boneyard. Honestly, I would get it. It's just not as good as Monster Squad. I'm kidding.
No, you're not. That's okay.
No, I'm not. I love Monster Squad.
So
yeah, it's $11.69 on Amazon right now.
How much is it?
$11.69.
Wow, that is dirt cheap. Even just for a Blu-ray in general, that's fucking cheap. Let alone all.
It actually has a good amount of special features on it too.
Yeah, absolutely does, and they're really good. They're in depth too. I was really impressed that they gave that much, and it looks really good. It looks way better than the DVD version for sure. But
my biggest gripe is there's some audio issues. Like the audio goes in and out a little bit, and
yeah,
that's not that big a deal.
I mean, that's the movie itself. So I checked my VHS and my DVD at the beginning.
Oh, I know. That's it's almost. Well, it's a lower budget movie. Yeah.
But so, what did you think, Ray? Give it to us.
So we're gonna talk about other movies now, right?
Yeah.
So the Boneyard Fire
is a movie.
I hear fire truck. No, so I went in with I mean the and everybody told me not to, like think of this when I think of the movie. Or it's more, it's not that big of a part. Yes, it is. This is like the last 15 minutes of the movie. That face. To be honest, okay, so I love the character Jersey. I hated that Norman Fell had that ridiculous goatee, mustache, Fu Manchu thing. You know what I'm talking about? It was obviously fake.
Yeah, his ponytail was totally fake too.
It was not even a ponytail; it was a rat tail. It just pulled back a little bit because you look, his hair was cut short, and then I paid really close attention to the wardrobe. The things I liked about it were, I liked the little kid creatures. I liked the way they moved, and I liked the part where they're feeding. Was it Phyllis Diller feeding her the flesh?
Yeah, they feed the gunk.
Yeah, and then later on, you see the dog eat it. You're like, okay, well, this is how that should. Overall, well, like I said last night in my Facebook post, the first half hour or so really reminds me of a Tales from the Crypt episode, which is a good thing. Especially when Alec has a dream and she sees, I think it's supposed to be her daughter that she lost.
Yeah.
And she's got like one. I mean, some of the effects were bad because the kid is like looking at something and you can see a regular arm and a bone arm, and then when it's moving closer, you can tell it's a totally fake arm. But the face, the makeup on the face looked really fucking spooky. Looked almost haunting. I looked at it like, oh, that is what nightmares are made of. And then when you actually get to see the children, now that's kind of a 6-year-old girl playing the bulk of the children, like we said. But there was a part where Allie's looking like through a video, and she gets a piece of hair so she could like channel the memories of the children or whatever. And they're laying on the table, and I think 2 of them are girls, and they're both topless on the table, which is really weird to me.
Yeah,
but they had makeup on. But so I liked Phyllis Diller's character. She was there wasn't too much of her, but it was enough. But I really liked Jersey quite a bit, and Allie. I like their back and forth. You can tell that they had a history. I think the movie, for being as low budget as it was really well made. The creature effects were silly, but the Phyllis Diller one was cool. It just popped up out of nowhere, and you knew it was coming. I knew it was coming, And then the dog one was ridiculous looking, but overall, I like the movie. I liked it a lot, actually. It had a great tone. I liked the cast, all of them. They weren't great actors, but they were good enough. You know,
Yeah.
like the younger
A
detective.
lot of them were like actors. Like the guy who played Jersey was on like over 200 TV shows.
Oh, you know, it was even more than that. He had over 1,000 television credits to his
Yeah,
resume.
they're all really well known except for the chick that played Psychic. But they
Well, I
just
like the part. I just thought of the part where they bring the girl in, the young girl, and she's like dead, and he goes to cut her neck, and she wakes up.
that freaked me the fuck out.
Overall, what's that?
That part freaks me the fuck out when they cut her neck, and it just.
Yeah, I could see that. I liked it. It did remind me of Tales from the Crypt episode quite a bit, but overall, I like the mortuary where it was called Boneyard. Welcome to the Boneyard. Yeah, no, it wasn't bad. I mean, the box art really doesn't do it justice. They should have done like I kind of wish Scream Factory would have released this, although I wouldn't
Take
have
that back.
got.
Take that back. You don't mean that. The box art does everything.
Honestly, if it did have like a vegetable, like if it had Thomas Blunder or like a Joel Robinson cover, I think that it would sell really well, and I think people would really dig it. Like if more people watched it, I think they'd really enjoy it. It's really over.
Yeah, you know what? It should have the kids on here. They were like the catalyst of everything. Not the dog.
You guys are breaking my heart.
This would turn people off. It turned
You guys
me
are breaking my heart. This is what made me buy the movie. It wasn't Mike's review when we first talked about it. It was this fucking thing right here. This made me buy the movie. If you want to see it close, this is what it looks like. You ever put like that piece of pasta into a chihuahua's face or a poodle's face? That is the face it gives you, and that's what made me buy this movie.
What episode was that on where you first saw it?
I don't remember, but I lost my shit.
You lost, yeah. We need to make like some kind of like video montage if you laughing your ass off at that.
Oh my god, no, because it was completely unexpected. Like Mike's like, oh, I there's this movie that I like, and it's called The Boneyard, and I'm just gonna hold it in front of Brian, you know, for 20 seconds, and you know, not feel guilty for making him laugh.
Lost your shit.
I lost my shit.
Yeah, I still just can't believe that it came out on Blu-ray. Like that excited me so much, and that they packed it with special features. And because of those special features, I found out the movie was filmed in Statesville, North Carolina. So when I was on my way to Crimson Screen, I saw on the map, I'm like, "Fuck, we're gonna pass right near there." So we actually stopped at the North Carolina Welcoming Committee, like center, on the highway. And I went in and I asked the people, I went up to the counter, and I was with my mom, Lex, and Kevin Foster, and they're like, dude, why are you harassing these people? And I'm like, just give me this, all right? And I'm like, hey, do you know where the Boneyard was filmed? And they're like, oh, of course. And they called Statesville, like their welcoming center, and they got the addresses of all the places for us. And
nice.
And we went on a detour for like half a day and walked through the town, and I harassed random people at different businesses and said, were you here when they filmed The Boneyard?
Is the hospital still up? I know it was up in 2013, but is it still up?
Is what up?
Hospital.
The hospital got demolished like 3 months before we got there. I was able to go onto the grounds where it was. It's so nuts because it's like in a suburban neighborhood. It's just right there. So I had.
Did it look like a suburban Holocaust?
It's in the middle of a suburban neighborhood. So I got to go, like, there's people, they were, like, clearing the rubble because it had asbestos and shit in it. That's just why they knocked it down.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But they let me walk around a little bit and take pictures of just, like, the rubble that was left over. But there is a memorial plaque on the sidewalk. It's, like, this huge, like, 6x6 slab of concrete with the Boneyard and the actors' names on it and stuff. And it was in front of this jewelry store. And then down the block, there was like a museum of local history, and they had a whole section on the Boneyard. And the guy that ran it was so excited that someone knew about it, and he was like, he was talking all about it and telling us stories about Phyllis Diller, like being in the town. And that's when they gave me this Statesville Band-Aid dispenser.
Love it. Look at that.
And I'll tell you, that town is such a sweet little place. It had that southern kind of like small town charm to it, and I found out that the guy that wrote the original Blob in the 50s, he was from that town, and he lived there until he died. And he actually denounced. They told me he denounced the movie because he was a born again Christian, and his family will not let them put posters up for the movie anywhere in town.
The Blob?
Wait, of the Blob or Boneyard?
The Blob.
Steve McQueen's The Blob?
Yes.
What?
Dude,
Also,
that movie wasn't even that crazy.
I also found out there. I was walking through the museum and I saw a copy of the book The K by Theodore Taylor, which is one of my favorite books as a kid. It's about a shipwreck, and this little boy gets hit with a plank of wood during it, so he's blind. And there's just a black cook that was on the ship. They're the only survivors, and they're marooned on this island, so the cook has to take care of him. And they're there for like 10 years. It's a really heartbreaking story I read in elementary school. And they fucking had the book on display, and I found out the author was from that town too, and I lost my fucking mind. It was like, oh, it was so great. And there was some random connection to Lancaster in that place too. I can't remember what it was though, but
So, did you acquire locations for your remake of the Boneyard?
I did talk to a lot of people about the possibility of a remake. Also, there is a White Doomsday poster hanging in the Statesville Historical Society now.
Woo!
Well, that's awesome.
I'm real excited, so he asked me to sign one, and he put it up. That was really cool.
Well, if you remake the Boneyard, like I said, I want to be the poodle. All
I
right.
don't know that movie would really lend itself to a remake. I mean, I think that the tone of it is so unique and the casting and stuff that I don't think I would want to touch it. I think that it works really well just as kind of a counterpoint to all the types of movies that were being made in the genre at that time. Like, it is like a really weird little outlier that doesn't quite fit with anything else, and I really respect it for that. And the opening, like you said, Brian, the opening is really depressing. It's a really dark movie if you really think about it.
It really is. It's sad, and it doesn't like really connect with the rest of the movie. Not saying it doesn't connect like story wise, but I mean like the tone of it, because the tone of the movie just gets really fucking outrageous.
I don't even think it did get that outrageous. I think it just, yeah, I think it well,
it gets a little over the top with the creatures.
Yeah.
Aside from that,
but what happened? What do you think would happen in real life if a bunch of creatures popped out of nowhere like that?
I'd be jumping in elevator shafts too.
I think everybody's gonna lose their fucking minds.
I would definitely kick the closest poodle near me because I know it's going to evolve into something else.
there's a lot of. I really love how slimy the movie is too. There is.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there was the part in the elevator where the younger detective and the girl were trying to figure out, you know, a way out or whatever, and she steps in the slime. You could see it go between her toes and like over her toes.
Fucking nasty.
Yeah, that was good. You need to have
Me
more
of when I
slime in
stepped
that
on a
movie.
slug barefoot once and
Mhm.
it threw up. It made me feel. It was. Ugh. It was fucking gross.
I'm very happy that I bought this for $12.
Yeah, I'm really happy you got it too. I seriously have probably sold like over a dozen copies of that movie just from talking about it. And everyone is always like, "Holy shit, this is way better than I thought it was going to be." And I'm like, yeah.
Do we have any comments on Facebook Land?
I really no. nobody cares about the Boneyard but us.
Okay.
I don't know if that's necessarily true.
I can't tell. Maybe it hasn't updated.
So can we talk about the actress that played the young girl, the creature?
Oh yeah.
Special features of her now as an adult, going through. It was actually really, really lovely to see her going through a scrapbook of all the pictures of her on set. Especially with me just finishing Doomsday.
You even had a call sheet. Did you see that?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was just really cool to see, like, you know, because our actor in Doomsday was only 7 years old when we filmed the movie. And that's how old she was. And it's really cool to see her as an adult reminiscing about what that experience was like, being a kid and being able to do all this crazy shit and meet all these celebrities and be on set and with all the effects work and stuff, and how affectionate she remembered all that stuff, because it makes me think, like, what is Reeve from Doomsday going to think about this movie? You know, all the publicity signings and stuff. What's he going to think about this when he's, you know, 20, when he's 30? And it was just really cool to kind of see that. So I really connected with that. Plus, she is like extremely hot. No, like,
she's pretty damn good looking. Yeah.
She was 9 when she made the movie.
That's right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, but the thing is, she's my age now, and yes, please. Yeah, I wonder if she lives in, what is it, Statesville? Is that what it's called?
Yes, she does. We did not run into her.
Where does she live? I want to speak with her.
Next time I'll come, and then she'll come to us.
I would have loved to have talked to her about the movie, though. I was hoping to find someone that worked on it because they hired a lot of locals.
You know, Mike, when you make
I
your
want to
next
shave
movie,
Miss Poop and Plot's head.
you ought to try to get her in your next movie.
Yeah, that'd be cool. The Boneyard 2.
Yeah.
Celeste Boogaloo.
I will say one last thing about it. Since you guys were talking about how, serious and chilling the first 30 minutes of it was, when Allie and Jersey first saw the 3 dead bodies and they, pulled the curtain, they were watching it through the screen. That entire moment was completely chilling.
Yeah, that whole sequence was really uncomfortable. It was really creepy. Like, it felt very authentic the way they handled all the morgue stuff. Like, it was authentic. That's exactly how it is.
It did feel that way, though.
Yeah, that was really, really cool. I love the mortuary guy. I can't remember his name. The older guy with the goatee and stuff. He was really awesome.
Shep,
yeah.
Yeah, Shep.
Oh, Francisco Franco, I live in Charlotte. Now I want to go to Statesville. You absolutely should. It's not that far from you. Because I was in Charlotte for Days of the Dead, and we were going to take the trip then, but we had to go. It ended up happening a couple months later. But it's such a great little town. It's really cool. They filmed a lot of movies there. They filmed Leatherneck, the George Clooney movie there. Yeah. They filmed, I forget what there was a biopic in the 80s about a young man, I think who had AIDS. They filmed that there too. There's a lot of stuff in Statesville that was filmed, but they have big displays for all of it at the museum. It was really cool.
So they did a George Clooney movie there, but they're mostly proud of the Boneyard.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Well, it blows my mind because it's like when I went to the Monroeville Mall where Dawn of the Dead was filmed, and I went into the video store that was in the mall, and I asked where they sell a lot of copies of Dawn of the Dead, and they didn't even know what it was. And I'm like, how the fuck do you not know? Like, it was filmed right here, and they're like, oh, really? And they didn't care. That's how it was in Statesville with a lot of places. I was at like a little deli called Groucho's that was fucking awesome. It was some of the best food I've had in a long time. But I told the waitress, I'm like, they filmed the Boneyard here. And like Lex and my mom are like trying to stuff me under the table to like stop bothering people about this. But they're all excited. I was writing it down on the backs of receipts and giving them the URL at Amazon. I'm like, you got to check it out. It was filmed right here. And they're like, oh, wow, right at that hospital, huh? And I'm like, yes, you should check it out.
It's funny. I remember seeing Return of Nukem High when it was like before it became like out on DVD. And none of the actors have ever heard or seen the original Class of Nukem High movies. And that question was brought up multiple times, like, hey, have you related to your characters from the original Class of Nukem High? And they're like, oh, I didn't even know there was a Class of Nukem High. And I'm just like, you fucking assholes. So I understand your pain when you're like, oh my God, you see this movie? And the people who are in it or in that area are just like, I have no idea what you're talking about, sir. Put down the knife.
Well, it's like if I found out a film was made in my town, I would be excited about it regardless of what genre it was. But I'm hoping that a lot of people did actually listen to me. Well, it's like if I found out a film was made in my home.
Like, if The Good Son was made in my town, I would be like, holy shit, do you know The Good Son was made in my town? Yeah, who doesn't fucking love The Good Son? It's a great movie. But, I mean, if The Good Son was made in my town, I would be going around like, hey, to the cashier, be like, you know The Good Son was made here? The Good Son?
Did you know that Michael Stipe is from the town I live in?
Who?
Michael Stipe from REM.
REM.
Yeah, and
rapid eye movement.
Yeah, he graduated from Collinsville High School. But did you know that Escape from New York was filmed in St. Louis? I've been to a lot of the sites.
Oh, that's
really
even the bridge. Yeah, did I say Escape from New York? Okay, yeah, that one. Yeah,
that's really cool.
It was filmed in St. Louis. The year I was born, it was filmed in St. Louis. Actually,
I was gonna say I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
See, so cool. I'm hoping that some weirdo goes around Lancaster with his copy of White Doomsday now, all excited that it was shot in this area. That would be really cool.
Look, I'm just waiting for my copy. Okay, give me a break. I'm going to do it. Just give me a break.
I haven't even seen the.
I got my copy.
Looks beautiful.
You didn't open it yet, Brian. You didn't see this. Check this out. So I have my copy right here. Did you see the discs?
I did see the discs.
Do you sleep with your copy?
Yes. Well, only once.
So what happens if you run out of your copies, Mike? Do you have to buy another copy of your own movie?
No, these aren't the copies that I have here are cast and crew copies. I delivered the copies for FYE.
No, your copy of the movie. If you lose your copy of the movie, do you have to buy another copy of your movie?
I don't know. I'm just not going to lose it, so I don't have to find out.
I'll buy one for you if you lose it.
Yeah.
Or if you scratch it up in like a really, really bad fab session.
I'll go in halvesies on it.
I gotta say, like, it's so surreal to look at this on like Blu-ray because I'm such a geek for collector's editions, and like this, with the reversible art and everything, like this is pretty much like a Scream Factory Blu-ray. Like that's so cool to me. Like Justin really rocked it with Scream Team. Like he was super cool, letting me do whatever the fuck I wanted. I really wanted to like do it up, like big time with this. So
yeah, man. I mean, any movie that gets more copies sold than volumes of blood is good in my book. Look, I just flipped it around.
Oh yeah!
Look at this. This is pretty fantastic. Look,
the Christmas.
Noel.
Merry Doomsday.
Jesus greeting from the end of the world. I'm dreaming of a white Doomsday.
I like the other one better.
I don't know, man. This one looks sexy. I would definitely.
I mean the other tagline.
I would put a rope around this and hang dong with it. Like that's how sexy this is. Good job, Mike.
Yeah.
So what are the rules for this giveaway? Speaking of Doomsday, what exactly do people have to do to possibly win a free copy of this movie?
Just like the video says.
So they have to
like both pages, the Horror Syndicate and Scream Team Releasing. Comment with your favorite holiday-themed movie in the comments and share it. Share the video.
And while you're at it, go like Real Splatter
Productions. Yeah, that would be great, guys. I would really appreciate that as well.
If anybody wants to do that.
Not required, but it would be very
nice.
The
good thing is, if in the video, in the description for the video, Real Splatter and Scream Team Releasing are both tagged in it. So.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, so you can just, click the tag, hit like, and you get to go.
Linked right to it. Cool.
So I want to ask you guys, now that we covered the Boneyard, I want to ask you guys, what is your favorite standalone 80s, 90s horror movie? You can choose up to 3. And this goes for you out there on Facebook land.
Yeah.
Tell us in the comments what your favorite 80s or 90s or both, because 89 and 90 kind of goes hand in hand. Tell us what your 3 favorite standalone horror movies are.
3.
Well, when you say standalone, what exactly do you mean? It's not
no sequels, no reboots, no nothing.
Okay.
Just its own entity.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go first. I'm just going to throw one out so we can kind of round table it.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm going to go with Rawhead Rex.
Woo!
Another excellent Blu-ray I never thought I'd see.
Yeah.
Which one do you have?
I've got the Kino one.
I got the Kino one also.
Yeah, that was like $12.
Huh?
Huh?
Mike, you cut out.
Yeah, Mike cut out.
I said it was a really excellent release of the movie.
Ray's like, huh? Mocking me. But yeah, Rawhead Rex, like the special effects of the monster are kind of cheesy, but I mean it's played very straightforward, and it's, if anybody out there that hasn't seen it, it's written by Clive Barker. It's
He's an all right guy.
Predates Hellraiser, so I mean it's if you love anything Clive Barker does, just stay away from Midnight Meat Train.
Yeah, I hate that. Best short story ever written, worst adaptation I've ever seen. Terrible.
Go ahead, Mike.
I'm gonna throw one out there. I don't really talk about all that much. I'm gonna say Peter Jackson's Bad Taste.
Okay.
His first movie, one of the biggest inspirations to me as a kid about filmmaking, because he filmed it with his friends in his backyard over 4 years worth of weekends and just fucking did everything and made it happen. And it's awesome. And I hear that he is releasing it on Blu-ray along with Dead Alive and Meet the Feebles.
God, I would love
They're,
that.
they're working on restorations of it right now.
Meet the Feebles. I fucking have been waiting so long for a restoration of that movie.
God.
Yeah, because now I can finally stop telling people that like Greg the Bunny or the Happy Time Murders that it's already been done. And
Yeah.
Concept.
Right?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Is there a scene where like the rabbit's addicted to cocaine, but they give him borax and it kill him?
No, the rabbit thinks he has AIDS because he's a nymphomaniac.
Yeah.
Cocaine as well.
Okay, but he does die, not
Yeah,
from AIDS-related sickness, but he dies from overdose.
Lead poisoning.
Okay.
You remember that movie surprisingly well, sir.
I love it so much.
Who wants to go next?
Oh, I'm gonna have to go. I actually have two movies that are standalone that I absolutely adore. The first one is Nicolas Cage in Vampire's Kiss.
Oh my God.
Directed by Robert Bierman.
Hello, Alva!
This movie has been getting a lot of publicity in today's age. There is the Nicolas Cage meme where he's just like staring off and it says, "Oh, really?" But he doesn't say that in the movie. He's taunting his secretary named her name's Alva, who's played by Maria Conchita Alonso. This movie is absolutely fucking bonkers. It's my favorite Nicolas Cage movie besides Mandy and Face Off. So go check that out.
I
And
got
then,
a question though: is Vampire's Kiss a comedy or not? Because
it's an unintentional comedy.
My read on it was he didn't realize that it was supposed to be a serious movie and it just went off the rails.
Yes, it did. Yes. There's a commentary with the director and Nicolas Cage, and the scene where he talks the alphabet was a mix on Klaus Kinski, the German actor who's in a lot of Werner Herzog movies,
and spaghetti westerns
and crawl space,
and so it's a mix of him and Mick Jagger when he's doing that scene with the ABCs. So, in fact, you see that character representation again in Face Off when he's Castor Troy, and then you see that in the second half of the movie Mandy. Nicolas Cage also talks about how he lost his fucking shit, and when he calls it California Kinski. Because like when Klaus Kinski moved to like LA, that's how his acting was personified, as him going like crazy and being very expressive. And Nicolas Cage is a huge fan of Klaus Kinski and Werner Herzog. So there's that. And I think that my favorite standalone movie, not so much for the theatrical cut, because it didn't seem like there was a whole lot there. It just seemed like a very generic slasher movie. But that's because that's the way the studios wanted it. But we have Nightbreed, and it's actually the director's cut or the Cabal's cut. They both are very similar in the way that they end and are perceived. Clive Barker had free reign to make a movie after his success of Hellraiser, and it was called Nightbreed. And it was this is the original cover of the theatrical version. And it was a slasher movie that had monsters in it, and it perceived the monsters to be the innocent good guys. And the slasher was played by David Cronenberg. When searching for these monsters, he's a monster hunter. Now, what we get in Nightbreed, the director's cut, or the Cabal's cut, is we get a little more in-depth story of the monsters and how they live and how they're perceived. And you actually feel it's actually a lot more tragic for them, and you get a lot more of Danny Elfman's score for the entire movie, and including songs that you haven't heard, and also his band Oingo Boingo has some music featured in that movie that you did not hear in a theatrical cut. So
it's a dead man's party.
I think Skin was the major song in that movie. From the album I think it was like Darkness and Tunnel. I forget the name of the album, but the director's cut of Nightbreed. I know I may stand alone with that because of nostalgia and people prefer the theatrical cut, but I think that the director's cut is by far superior out of them both.
Well, for sure, it makes the characters a lot more endearing and gives you a reason to want to root for the monsters.
I call it a slasher movie, though. I don't think it really has anything to do with slasher stuff at all. I mean, the character of Cronenberg's character kills a couple people, but I mean, it's really more of a fantasy movie, if anything.
Yeah. I think that's what I kind of got with the director's cut more so than the theatrical. Theatrical felt more like a slasher. Here's some monsters, we're going to kill them. But if we weren't covering the 80s and 90s, these are just a couple honorable mentions to standalone movies that I have. I'm going to go with this one first, Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon. I think that was probably one of the best standalone movies that we've had, a very good throwback to horror slashers. I know it's appreciated in the horror community.
Very original idea.
Mm-hmm. We have a little movie directed by Neil Marshall called Dog Soldiers, which is about, it's basically aliens, but with werewolves. So it's a pretty good movie. I would check that out if you were able to.
Is that Neil Marshall directed that?
Yes.
I think did The Descent.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then, of course, one of the most recent movies that are standalones. I absolutely recommend this movie. You can find this almost anywhere. It's one of the best movies I have seen in a very, very, very long time, and I recommend it to everyone who is out there. A little movie called Frankenstein's Army. It is a first-person shot movie, and it's Steadicam. But what it features, I know what it features is a documentary-style movie of a platoon in World War II, and they go looking for prisoners. And what they find is an underground laboratory of these Nazi monsters, and it feels like you're kind of playing Outlast a little bit with the way that things happen and the way that things flow.
Meets BioShock because the monsters are kind of steampunky.
Oh yeah, and it's just that kind of movie where you watch it and you're like, holy shit!
Have you ever
I need to watch this again.
What's that?
Have you ever seen it, Mike?
Yeah, I just saw it in the theater. Wasn't it called Overlord? Or I'm sorry, Overlord is the blatant ripoff of it where they removed all the swastikas that from it, made a generic horror action that was super PC. Damn it, I forgot. Yeah, Frankenstein's Army is fucking awesome. The creature design, the effects, the acting is great. I mean, they pulled off so much for so little money.
They really did.
That's what annoyed the shit out of me with Overlord is they had a huge budget and they're so fucking generic paint by numbers. And I'm like, this is the same fucking movie as Frankenstein's Army except shitty. And Hollywoodized.
If anybody's out there watching on Facebook Land or YouTube, if you want to read one of my earlier reviews, I reviewed Frankenstein's Army a couple years ago. Blew me away, just like Mike was saying. All the little things, like monsters of your like your craziest dreams. Like you couldn't even like visualize them in your dreams until you see this movie. Like, oh my god, I would never have thought they would make something like that.
Looks like shit out of like a Marilyn Manson music video mixed with the Rob Zombie stage show.
Wow, yeah, that's an interesting comparison.
How did we get on this?
That was one of Brian's honorable mentions. In 2010 or something. He prefaced it. He's like, these didn't come out in the 80s or the 90s, but these are what I like.
I miss Mo. I'm sorry, something happened out in the living room.
No, that's okay. Well, I'm gonna jump back onto my turn because I know Ray's got a few to share, and I should have shared more than one at the time.
I got a bunch.
But Society.
Oh yeah, fucking A right, man. Love it so much.
Mr. Yezna. It's I don't even want to describe it, but it's if anybody hasn't seen it, it's basically like a ritzy neighborhood, and God, I can't even really describe it. Mike, take it over.
It's about a kid who lives in Beverly Hills. And he's got a lot of paranoia about his rich family. He doesn't feel like he fits in.
This is what I like.
Really fucking weird. There's a lot of implications of incest, all sorts of weird shit. A friend of his gets killed, and he starts trying to investigate it, and stuff gets weirder and weirder, and it becomes very hallucinogenic, and then it finally turns into this really fucking whacked out body horror movie. Yeah. And it is fucking disgusting and slimy and wonderful. And Screaming Mad George, his effects work is like so fucking unbelievable.
Yeah.
What movie is this?
Society.
Oh my god!
And there's also like these really weird political underlying tones about high society meets, you know, the dirge.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things that got me. But yeah, you're much better at waxing plots than I am, Mister.
What a slow burn that movie was! Holy shit!
Yes.
Yeah, like, last 25 minutes of that movie, you're just like,
I guess I really am a butthead.
All right. Well, I'm going to finish mine off with a movie that is not very liked in the horror community, but it is near and dear to my heart. It is Wes Craven's lackluster Shocker.
Woo!
That movie has moments.
It had so much promise. It had so much promise, and it missed the mark a little bit.
It does have moments that I want to make me want to turn the damn thing off. It was bad.
That made me mad. Like, how many people can you kill someone in someone's life that just completely ruins them? Well, everyone died except the dad, right?
And Peter Berg lived, didn't he?
Yeah, but I mean, his girlfriend was brutally murdered.
Yeah.
His mom.
That movie was a movie my uncle liked a lot. He used to run a VHS video store when he was still alive. And we got an echo going. He also had a copy of the soundtrack on cassette, so that movie is will always be a standalone in my heart.
Ooh. Sorry, a strange man just walked into my bedroom.
It's not Lex. You're cheating on Lex.
I thought it was Lex Quinn in a towel, but this is Wesley Southern, author extraordinaire.
Oh, what's up, man?
What's up? I love how like you have all these talented people who just come in behind you, like randomly.
They come in the behind.
Yeah, it helps me. It helps me feel like a big man that I know people that are doing things that are cool. I just want to be a big shot. Sorry, Ray. What are your picks?
More mainstream stuff. I'm
not familiar with that movie.
No, I mean, I really love Serpent in the Rainbow.
Oh, that's I think that's one of Craven's best, honestly. That's a really underrated.
It was told it was one of the scariest movies ever made, and I went and saw it, and I was like, no, it's not. But then, I not went and saw it, but I rented it. And over the years, I gradually enjoyed it and understood it more and like it. I need to get the Scream Factory.
Dude, the voodoo ritual scenes, like when they're just like walking up the mountain with the candles, it is fucking breathtaking.
Yeah.
See that on Blu-ray. And the special features are really, really excellent too.
I do need to get. Do you have the Blu-ray?
I do. It's fucking gorgeous. The only thing I have a problem with is, and it's not their fault, Bill Pullman does a commentary track for about 30 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, but it's because they caught him when he was on his way to film the new Independence Day movie.
Oh.
So in the beginning, he's like, "Okay, I'm sorry, I'm only free until like 1 o'clock, so we're gonna just do as much as we can." And then at a certain point, it just cuts off. Kind of bummer.
Fuck him. I mean, the new Independence Day movie was ass. He should have been like.
He also got paid to make it, so.
I think that Independence Day, the original, is ass, but I admire the fact that an actor of that status would come and do a commentary track at all for a 90s horror movie. Like, I respect that. And he had a lot of cool stuff to say too. It was a good track.
Ripley, hi.
So I'm just gonna go down the list. I love TerrorVision.
Oh, holy tomatoes, Ray.
Oh yeah.
TerrorVision actually scared me as a kid. I had a over 100-degree fever when I watched it for the first time, and I had this G.I. Joe sleeping bag that was camouflaged, and in the dark it just looked like a lump. So I thought it was a TerrorVision monster, and I thought it was eating me alive, and I freaked out. And I couldn't remember the name of the movie for the longest, and it took me meeting Jared and Brian to realize it was called TerraVision. Found it, watched it, I'm like, wow. I was scared of this, and then my kids love it too.
It's such a weird fucking movie.
It is a pretty crazy movie.
Just take care of business.
I love it.
I really like the fact that, you know, I watched this movie and I was always afraid to get under the covers again. Because I was afraid that I would just be a floating head and my body would just be an alien tongue.
Well, you come and stay here, it just might happen.
Yeah.
I plan on it, Mike. Listen, Mike, you and your boo need to come to our humble abode and just hang out, watch horror movies.
You know that I'm his boo, okay?
Wait, now I thought I was his boo. How many boos does he have?
He holds his hands up like Freddy and says, "You're all my boos now."
No, you know what? You know what needs to happen?
Do that too.
You know what needs to happen, Mike? You, Lex, me, and my wife need to get together, and we need to play Resident Evil 2 when it comes out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agree with that.
I think that it would be most appreciated by hardcore Resident Evil 2 fans.
That could be a very special episode. We could live stream the first reactions of Resident Evil 2.
We got to make sure we play the really I think they're releasing the really graphic cut with the actual cut, like the one where you can add more gore or whatever it was mentioned. I forget.
I think that there's this, like in Japan, I think they have a censored version, and then that's the regular version. I don't think it's an extra gory version. I think it's just the normal version that we would get in America.
That makes sense.
Got you.
Sometimes they're prudes over there.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of like playing that shooter Maximum Risk, and you have the blood on green.
Yeah, I think it's something along those lines.
You know, I'm really looking forward to Resident Evil 2. I'm through this dilemma right now where, like, I'm in a layoff season, so I have plenty of time to catch up on video games that I have not played for the entire year. And I know that Red Dead Redemption 2 is screaming my name right now, but I got to tell those 4K horseballs to shut the hell up for a minute because I need to play some Resident Evil 2 and Call of Cthulhu.
The Call of Cthulhu game I'm really interested in playing. I heard it's good, but I don't know if it came out physical or just digital.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do digital. I don't like that.
I'm just curious how close it is to, you know, source material of Lovecraft.
Apparently, it's extremely close.
Yeah, I guess it was based on the board game. I think Call of Cthulhu Dark Corners of the Earth for Xbox, the original Xbox, and the PC was like the fucking ultimate. That had the whole opening was taken out of the Dagon movie.
Mm-hmm.
The hotel, and you've got to keep locking the
Fuck, I remember that game.
That was terrifying. So if it's anything like that, I'll be very fucking happy. There's another game called like The Sunken City or some shit that looks like Lovecraft too.
Yeah, Ray was talking about that earlier. When he comes back, we'll have to ask him about that again. The Sinking City?
Yeah. I don't know what it is. I think I saw a trailer for it or something. That looks very Lovecrafty as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't wait to play horror video games. I know that The Exorcist 3 Dominion is a VR game for PlayStation. What? Yeah.
What the hell is it? You just walk down the hallway and the lights turn off one by one?
No. It's The Exorcist. It's The Exorcist 3. You play as the detective that I think that Charlton Heston played. Oh, look, there's Call of Cthulhu.
Is that a slipcase or is that? Oh no, never mind.
It's just the reflection, probably.
Yeah.
What a great.
You know what? You know what reminds me? Xbox was the only system that had George Romero's Land of the Dead as a video game for it.
It was green. I have it on PC.
How was it?
That one.
It was actually not. It was not a.
I don't remember it being great.
It was not a Land of the Dead game originally. It was just a budget zombie shooter, and then they bought the rights to it and added Fiddler's Green in the title. I mean, it's fun. It's got some moments.
It's not like the Left 4 Dead or anything like that, is it?
Well, I didn't like Left 4 Dead, but Land of the Dead was like a $20 game. It was fun. There's a weird thing if you in the beginning you can if you look up in the one upstairs bathroom or bedroom in a drawer you can find a book of karate, and then if you read it, it says, I know Kung Fu, and then your weapon turns into your hands with like tribal tattoos all over it, and you can do like karate. It's an Easter egg. It's really fucking weird.
Oh, that's pretty cool. That kind of reminds me of the of Ken Foree in Dawn of the Dead when he puts a gun up to his head and he says, "Fuck it, I'm gonna kung fu all these zombies to my way to the helipad," and he does.
Does he put in God mode first though?
I hope so. He doesn't get bit. If that means anything. Has there ever been a follow up on? You have the book Dawn of the Dead, the actual hard-covered book. Do they mention anything that happens after the last survivors escape on the helipad?
I never actually read it. No, I just opened the last page. Do we have enough gas? He asked, scanning the parking lot below as zombies looked up in the sky at the disturbance. Very little, Fran said, as the little bird fluttered away into the welcoming arms of dawn. So it ends exactly as the movie does, I believe.
It's anticlimactic. But you know what I heard? I heard that Goosebumps has had the green light to making their own books turn into movies.
I don't know what that means, Brian. You're gonna have to.
Son of a bitch. That means the Goosebumps. Some of the Goosebumps books have been greenlit into becoming full-length feature films.
Oh, so what they should have fucking done to begin with, instead of making Jumanji ripoffs with Jack Black.
Yes. Yeah, and I think that
Goosebumps movie then.
what is it? The Curse of the Dummy. I think that's one of them.
I hate that book. I don't know why everybody's so fucking obsessed with Slappy. Slappy. He was the least interesting character in that whole goddamn book series.
What was the one with the mask? What was it called? The Goblin Mask?
The Haunted Mask.
Yeah, I like that one. That was probably my favorite book.
Abominable Snowman of Pasadena.
Yeah, fuck that book too.
The Abominable Snowman of Pasadena.
That was okay. When they made the movie, they're like, hey, let's use the worst creature in this entire fucking series and make it thing. And I'm like, this is so dumb. That movie pissed me off.
I always thought Say Cheese and Die would be like a really good Twilight Zone episode or something.
Pretty much was. I mean, I'm not going to defend the plots of the Goosebumps books. They're all pretty much just knockoffs of other stuff. But I mean, I love them. They got me into horror as a kid.
Ray disappeared. Mike, how many movies have you given us as, or should we check Facebook land first?
Bad taste. Let me add. This is early. This is 90s included.
Yeah, 90s too.
I'm gonna drop a little ditty that I know someone is gonna really enjoy / hate me for, and that is The Night Flyer.
Ooh.
Which Wes over here does not have on DVD.
I've had it twice, and I've lost it twice.
Yeah, it's very, very expensive now.
I fucking love that movie.
The Night Flyer is a fucking excellent adaptation and an excellent movie, and it's super underrated. It's got some fucking phenomenal gore, amazing performance by Miguel Ferrer. Like,
oh, rest in peace.
So fucking goddamn good.
And from Porky's.
I don't remember.
You've never seen Porky's?
A long time ago.
Oh.
I don't know about that. I think I
So Night Flyer is an open sore for Wes.
Yeah, because he can't find it anymore. It is really expensive randomly.
Really hard to
that
get.
one needs a fucking damn Blu-ray release.
I would think so.
My third pick, I'm gonna go 90s again because this was a failed joke on Facebook. I don't think anybody got it. I was really bummed out. I was really sick this week. And when I woke up the other morning, I was wheezing and I sounded like the Cathoga. And no one knows what the Cathoga is, and it's The Relic. This fucking awesome, awesome movie adaptation of a terrible book by Preston Child Lincoln, whatever the fuck his name is.
Something or other.
Preston Child, yeah. But the
Lincoln and Child.
The movie is fucking awesome, and that also needs a Blu-ray release. Like, it's got the creature effects of Jurassic Park, but it's really fucking gory. And it's got brain eating, and it's awesome. And beetles that eat your skin. It was real cool. It was real cool.
Man, if I've seen The Relic, I had to have seen it years ago. When did it come out? Like mid to late 90s?
Yeah, it was probably like 96.
Yeah. I want to see if we have any comments on Facebook about their
We do.
Wes, you're sitting there, man. You know, obviously know your shit. What do you have any suggestions on standalone 80s or 90s movies? No franchise or reboots types.
Seems like, well, that's kind of the biggest problem with a lot of horror films is they don't know when to just say enough, and everything franchised, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Like the new Chucky movie.
Oh God, yeah, I
Jesus.
saw that it was going to be like just a AI gone wrong or something. Like
Isn't it called I Chucky or something?
Yeah.
It's got an interesting cast with like Aubrey Plaza playing
Chucky and Recreations, right?
Jesus.
Yeah, pretty much. God,
Minus Chris Pratt.
that's really difficult standalone.
Have you guys heard about the new PlayStation Classic coming out?
Yeah.
Kind of bullshit, isn't it?
Well, I mean, I have all those classic things are bullshit. I have all the original games and systems, and I can play them all for less than like $100 that it costs to get one of those. If they still play the original discs and stuff, then I'd be fine with it. But
yeah, all you need to do is have a PlayStation 3 and download whatever games you want to. They're all there.
I mean, I think it's cool that normal people will have access to some old retro games, but I feel like it's nostalgia light, like for lazy people. It's like, I don't know.
I love playing Siphon Filter and Metal Gear Solid, and I have those games, but I don't want to buy a system that only plays like 20 games and doesn't leave any room for like any more downloadable games. Like the system doesn't even have Crash Bandicoot, and that was like the bane of like PlayStation when it came out.
Crash Bandicoot was the Sonic of PlayStation.
Yeah. And it's not even available. They don't even have. They have Final Fantasy VII, but they don't have Vagrant Story. They don't have Legend of Legaia. They don't have Legend of Dragoon. They they have Resident Evil Director's Cut, which isn't the best one.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. That's more. They don't have Silent Hill though, right?
No, they don't have Silent Hill.
Can we technically call the Thing a standalone, even though there's two of them?
Does the Thing Does the Thing count because it's a remake?
No, not even just because it's a remake, but because they did that shitty like prequel sequel movie.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I wouldn't count the Thing.
I don't know if I would either.
What about the urban reboot, The Thang?
Is that the sequel to How Stella Got Her Groove Back again?
Yeah. Oh wait. Here we got some comments here on Facebook. Ray said the stuff Prince of Darkness, Chopping Wall, From Beyond, and The Fog.
The Fog had a remake. That doesn't count.
Yeah. The stuff is amazing. Prince of Darkness is one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Thank you.
Chopping Wall, I love. From Beyond, I love.
I'm forgetting my favorite movie.
What?
From Dusk Till Dawn.
Oh
shit!
no,
There was
there's like 3 of them. Yeah, there's like 3 of them.
And a TV series.
Ray,
sorry.
TV series.
Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things. That's a great movie.
Somebody before Ray said The Burning, People Under the Stairs, Prince of Darkness also.
Oh, I didn't see any of those.
The Burning was okay.
Taruga says for Dawn of the Dead, with that scene, it's been suggested that Ken Foree's character, when he was about to shoot himself, the first zombie he saw coming at him was African American, and it was at that moment Ken decided he must survive as a black man. That's a really interesting read on that. I'd have to rewatch the movie and see if the first zombie is black. That's pretty cool.
It is black, yeah, I recall. I know exactly the zombie he's talking about. The zombie has an afro.
That makes a lot of sense because Romero was notoriously political with his stuff. That's
for sure.
I didn't even notice that. That's really cool. Just one more reason to love Dawn of the Dead.
Just realized that Dead Alive.
Ah, Dead Alive.
There you go.
There you go.
To Meet the Peoples earlier.
Oh, and Kazam with Shaq.
Ooh, I have
That is a horror movie for sure.
You do not fat to Kazam, no matter who you are.
It's a classic. I haven't had goat eyes in 3,000 years.
Unless you're me, then you fat to Kazam.
Let me think of other standalone. Street Trash is pretty good.
Street Trash is fucking amazing.
Wait, Brian White says Night Flyer, great story, bad movie. Oh, come on, man.
Oh.
Night Flyer is an awesome movie.
Oh.
That's a hot take.
What's wrong with the movie? Brian White.
Yes. Let's debate this.
Yeah, let's
mass debate this.
what else we got?
Everything has been franchised like that.
Oh, shitty.
I like the Graveyard.
You know what's a good standalone movie? Jason Goes to Hell.
I love that movie. Well, no, that doesn't count. That's connected to Evil Dead.
It's connected to Evil Dead and Nightmare on Elm Street, technically. That's funny.
Mike, when are you and Lex coming over to my stay at my house?
I don't know. That can happen sometime soon. They live excellent one.
They live absolutely.
No, that sounds cool because I just picked up like 5 different playing cards of like Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Beetlejuice, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and I have Alien versus Predator Clue.
I tried to find that at my Ollie's and it was not there.
Oh,
well, you have
Alien
to come
versus Predator's Clue.
How much?
You and your boo will have to come to my. It was only like $15. It wasn't bad.
Yeah, I would have paid $15 for it. My limit was $12, and that was just so I could say that I owned it. But anything more than that, I figured I'd play it once and be like, "This is awful."
No, it's pretty cool. You play as predators and you're looking for the alien queen. Like that's
how does it? Is it actually like Clue?
Yeah, like who's Colonel Mustard in this game?
Probably one of the predators.
Well, is it like they're like predator weapons?
Oh,
I think there's like 6 predators.
No, but I mean, how does it work? It's like the queen is in the observatory with the candlestick. Like,
the queen is in the observatory with the newt, and you got
queen is in the library with the over-the-shoulder laser beam.
Yeah, what? How does it play though? I'm very curious about this.
You're the predators looking for the alien queen, and you got to find the clues of where she is hiding, and you're on an island.
So wait, so it doesn't play out like actual Clue? Like the mechanics are not the same?
No, they're the same. It's just a weird concept.
That feels very odd.
Well,
I also have Cards Against Humanity, so we can just play that.
Why do the games be offensive, Brian?
You shut your whore mouth. I'll kill you.
Well, so I don't understand though. Explain to me, like, what is like a win condition for Alien vs Predator Clue? When you say the queen is in like this location, like with this thing, like how do you like accuse people or like what?
Yeah, like the queen is in the library with the.
Wouldn't the queen have to be dead? Because that's the whole idea of Clue.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I'll figure it. Maybe this.
Because the queen's dead, you just have to figure out who killed her.
Yeah, it's one of those things. But yeah, for those who have tuned in, thank you for joining us tonight. We talked about the Boneyard, our movies that we love that are standalone movies. My name is Brian Enright. You can follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Brian Enright or The Hard Jew. Up next, we have Jared Letourneau. Jared, good evening.
Good night, guys. You can follow me on Facebook at Jared Letourneau or on Twitter at zombie_survivor.
All right. Thank you very much, Sharon. I'm Mike Lombardo. Where can we find you, my friend?
Find me at realsplatter.com, facebook.com/realsplatter, and of course, screamteamreleasing.com, also amazon.com. Buy a copy of White Doomsday. You'll love it. YULE.
All right. Well, thank you very much, guys. Another fantastic episode here in the Hearthstone universe, and have a great night. Stay safe.